Listeners, sometimes when life slows down just enough, we start to hear the quiet seasons underneath the noise. I have asked questions to myself like, why am I here? Who am I? What's the point of all this striving, all this suffering, and all this beauty, all this materialistic wealth, and what not? We chase meaning often believing that it is somewhere out there. But what if all of this is within us? Today, on this episode of the Mindful Living podcast, listeners, with your host Sana, we are going to dive into these very questions that don't have an easy answer, and maybe they aren't meant to. My guest, Hans Wilhelm, brings a lens of clarity and depth that bridges the mystical and the practical. Through his visually stunning teachings, he distills wisdom from higher realms into messages that hits close to home. So together we are going to explore the question that has haunted and guided humanity forever. Why are we here and what is our purpose on this earth? So Hans, welcome to the show, and I'm really, really honored to have you here with us.
Oh, son, I'm delighted to be here on your show. I hope you have the answer for that one. I'm listening.
Let's hope. Let's see. It's a difficult question, Hans. It's a difficult
It
question.
is a difficult question. It is a prime question. It's all these questions. Why are we here? Did we come from and where are we going? I mean, these are the prime questions which sooner or later everybody has to ask themselves if they want to find some form of meaning in their life. And I must say, I grew up in Germany, as you probably can hear from my accent. And when I grew up, I could not believe the official views on why we are here, which came from the church.
Okay.
Because I did not grow up with the idea of reincarnation. It was only when I was in my 20s when I firstly studied reincarnation. And suddenly everything made sense to me. Suddenly I understood why there were rich people, poor people, sick people, and happy people, and people going to war, and some people are healing, and all the different forms and all the different lifestyles suddenly made a lot of sense to me. And actually, through the discovery or being aware of reincarnation, I suddenly found all the answers because that led me to more and more studies, and now also to the source of most of that. What I know comes from Germany, from a woman who died last year. Her name was Gabriele, and she left behind lots and lots of books and revelations about the spiritual aspects of life and all the highest teaching from the highest absolute reality. So I used that information and I found it so profound and so helpful that I find the answers, or I think I have found the answers for myself. I
Hmm.
cannot give the answers for anybody else because we all have to individually find them out, because there are 8 billion people living on this planet, and I think there
Yeah.
are 8 billion reasons why people live here, but why they came to this earth, which, as you said, can be extremely difficult, extremely challenging.
It is. And I also think that, before even this question that why am I here, who am I? I think many of us, we struggle to even answer that. We can say that I'm so and so and company. I'm so and so son and daughter of, but I think I also sometimes really struggle to explain or define myself, like who am I? uh, Let alone the question, why am I here? And also, Hans, do you think that answering this question, why am I here, does it come with maturity, age, experiences? I mean, what exactly helps us in answering this question, or at least, embark on that journey to seek answer for this question?
I would say it has nothing to do with maturity or age, because a young person, a baby child, and so on, lives far more closer to their original, to their essence. It is
Mm.
only when they learn all the various programs society puts on them that sometimes their whole belief system and understanding gets limited. But yeah, I must say, for me, the answer where I come from, I find very clearly is that I am originally a divine being, a pure
Mhm.
spirit being, and I'm not only me, but everybody else. We all were created in the absolute reality. And we can use words like love or the harmony and so on, all the various forms, because we are speaking about the seven-dimensional reality from where we came. And that is very limiting for us to express in our three-dimensional realm. But the fact is that we were all children of divinity of God, and our own choice has made it that we came here to planet Earth for various reasons. So I know for myself that I am a divine being from the absolute reality, and I see everybody else around me as well being from the same source. We all came from the same source. But the purpose why we are here varies largely. And I would say the first thing which comes to my mind is actually we do have to clear up the karma, which means basically all the nonsense and the negative, unloving words, thoughts, and actions that we have shared in this or in previous lifetimes. As long as they are not forgiven, we still have them as a soul debt on us. And we
Mhm.
have to either expiate it like experiencing it, or we can undo our karma through forgiveness. And I would say that is the main reason why most souls have incarnated here to experience their karma and being faced with their karma. Karma is not punishment, karma is a teaching tool so that we learn, that we experience that the negativity that we have sent out, how it feels, how it has imposed other people. So now it comes back to us, and now we experiencing, oh, that was the wrong way to handle the situation. So it's a loving way for us to wake up and to become what we truly are, to become love and nothing else. But then, of course, there are other reasons why people incarnate. There are some incarnate here to help and to serve. Some people come to assist the new Earth because the Earth is going through a very different time now and going to a higher vibration. And then there are people who are actually enjoy physicality. They come here to enjoy the three-dimensional reality in a physical body. And there are unfortunately also a lot of souls incarnate again because they were very attracted to the various temptations and sensualities of a previous lifetime. They found it so alluring and so interesting that when they were given the choice to stay in the spiritual world or come back to earth, they very quickly forced themselves back into another incarnation, hoping that they could continue their sensual or the very, how shall I say, yeah, emotional, not sensual, yeah, sensual lifestyle here in any forms. It can be wealth, it can be power, it can be fame, whatever they enjoyed in this lifetime, they would like to continue because these things have little to no meanings in the spiritual realm. So there are many, many reasons why anybody is here, and it's not up to us to judge why someone here is. And I'd like to add one little thing which my teacher told me, an example. Some
Mhm.
souls only incarnate for one smile, which means sometimes we meet a person who just needs one smile and we give the smile, and that smile can change this person instantly. I'm reminding of a lovely story from Caroline Mays. She said there was a girl, a teenage girl, and she was very unhappy and she tried to commit suicide. She decided on Thursday of this week, I'm going to commit suicide. And she was absolutely calm about it and very determined. And on
Mhm.
that day, when she walked back from school, she crossed the street and suddenly there was a car came and got into the brakes and nearly would have rolled her over. And she was so shocked, so she looked up at the driver, and the driver, there was a woman with the broadest and most warmest smile she had ever experienced that went right through her and immediately brought her out of this suicidal thinking, and she did not commit the suicide because it really shook her off. So we have the power through a simple smile to change the life of many, many people.
Wow. What a heartfelt story, Hans, it is. I mean, it is. It is. Sometimes, I mean, it's really powerful to know that even strangers, they feel like, kind of we feel that connection that, we have known them before, or their smile, or maybe a few words of encouragement from them. They're more than any kind of this, life saving elixir for us. So that is such a heartfelt story, Hans. Such a heartfelt.
Yeah, we don't need long lectures. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
just a presence, just to be there and listen. This can be so powerful.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's true. We can change the world by just listening or usually be quiet. It helps too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I think this really brings a thought in my mind that, how the meaning of quiet and stillness is kind of, it gets distorted because of so much noise and this information, barrage of information um, around us.
Definitely, yeah. But people are also afraid to be alone and have
Mm.
this quietness. People are very scared. They need the activity, they need the action,
Yeah.
because if they would sit down for one moment, all these thoughts and emotions would bubble up in them, and they have to deal with it, and they don't want to deal with it. So they either rather run to the refrigerator, take some pills, some alcohol, or most likely they use the iPhone and scroll and dumb scroll themselves silly on Instagram. If we all do this so that we do not have to face the, let's say, troublesome emotions which may come up in us, and all these they are just loving symbols or symptoms to tell us that there is something that we should clear up. There is something in our life we should look at, either forgive, to ask for forgiveness, or to change, or what there is something happening here, and we avoid this inner listening. And that's why I think be in the here and now and being mindful, what your program is so powerful. The moment we allow ourselves to be mindful, which means trying to be calm down, we then can only listen to what our soul may have to say to us.
Oh, oh. And I'll be very honest, sometimes, just as you described, it also sometimes is very struggling for me to be like completely, like sitting in a quiet room or just focusing on what's happening in the present moment. Sometimes I absolutely struggle at doing that because I just do not want to confront with my thoughts or my fears, maybe about the future or maybe some kind of, bitter memories or experiences from my past. Um, and Hans, in your video, the Amazing Earth School, it frames life on Earth as a school, a place where our experiences, challenges, um, happiness, our joys, they all teach us something meaningful. Um, so how do we apply that idea, like uh, especially keeping in mind the modern setting here, like
I
if you
think,
can.
yeah, you mentioned the video, Amazing Earth School. Basically, it's we have to understand that absolutely everything that we
Mhm.
encounter and everyone we encounter are here for us to bring us home, are here for us to heal.
Mhm.
Everything is medicine. The most difficult situation I face, the most difficult person I will face, my illness, the war situation I'm in, whatever it is only happening for me, not to me. Nothing in life happens to us, everything happens for us. And when we approach everything from that aspect, that it does have a lesson in us or something, an opportunity to free ourselves from all that binds us to the planet Earth, that is a wonderful experience and understanding. So every day we are getting in small doses downloads from the stars and the planets where all our karma has been stored. So
Mm.
every day we get a little bit coming back to us. That's where astrology comes from. So these little downloads are very carefully adjusted to our strength, that nothing is given to us which is more than we can handle. So there comes the phone call of somebody who upsets us. There is a person who cuts us off in traffic. There is a fight we have with our mother-in-law, etc. All these things are no coincidences. They are carefully orchestrated and arranged by ourselves, because
Mm.
these were initiated from karma, which means we have initiated in the past, in this or in a previous lifetime, and it's merely coming back to us. We are basically living a life on a film on rewind. So all these situations are our own situations coming back to us with the one goal to heal them, to undo them, which is forgiveness, experiencing, asking for forgiveness, and offering forgiveness and making amends. and also be repentant for the negativity that we recognize, because the feeling remorse for all the negativity helps us to store that in our conscience. So, which means next time I'm tempted to do the same mistakes, the same alcohol, drug, or whatever it is, my conscience says, "Oh no, don't do this." So therefore, the remorse and repentance is very helpful for us, because it helps us to stop it, not repeat the same mistakes in the future. So the whole life is a wonderful organization where we only come here for roughly 28,000 days. That's all. Every time we incarnate, it's very, very short. And in this short time, we can clear up so much karma, much more and much faster than we can do in the spiritual realms. I explained it in great detail in my short little video on the Amazing Earth school.
Interesting. That is fascinating, actually. And Hans, also, when we talk about purpose, um, it gets thrown around a lot these days. I mean, right now it's sounding as if it's a product that we have to discover and, like create a brand. How do you define true purpose, without turning into some kind of another ego trip?
For me, purpose is to do with full concentration what is right in front of me. There is no coincidence that I'm speaking with you right now. You are the most important person in my life right now. I hope my wife will will accept that, but at the moment, I'm dealing with you, and
Yeah,
I have give my full attention, and if I'm done after this, show, I will do something else, and I give my
that's
attention
okay.
full to that. When we full give our attention to whatever is before us, we automatically fulfill our purpose, because as I have said earlier, there are no coincidence. Whatever comes to me, that phone call, that car crash, or whatever it is, was carefully orchestrated, and if I focus on that and heal that situation, I will always fulfill my purpose. There is a danger in a lot of people want to find their purpose, their mission. That often comes from our ego. Our ego wants to do something big, something important. We want to be sort of glamour in whatever the big thing to do. No, as I said earlier, some incarnate only for one single smile. So when we approach it with a humility and understand that any given moment I can live my purpose 100% by being in the here and now, what else is there to do?
Exactly. And I think that's exactly kind of the idea behind mindfulness, because um when we're doing something, it's very natural for us to, like be kind of distracted by so many thoughts, so many things going at the back of our mind. And we're not able to give 100% to what we're doing at the present moment. And I think it hits really hard because when it comes to purpose, kind of, quote unquote game here, many people they feel behind in that. But maybe I think what you're saying, Hans, and what I'm able to understand is it is not about finding purpose. Maybe it's about remembering it.
Remembering, yeah, for that, you have to do the first step you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to be quiet and calm and go
Yes.
within, like in a meditation, and really go within. What is it? And being open to that. And very few people, the majority is not doing that. The majority likes distraction, and I like my distraction as well. I'm not above it. If I'm tired and so on, I want to see a TV or go to Netflix or whatever. Sure, yes, I do this, but I must make also room every day where I sit down, have a reflection of my day. How did it go? Write down the positive and the negative for myself, so that I do see that I try not to carry anything from the today into the tomorrow. And therefore, this daily reflection for me at the end of the day is very helpful, because we can so easily drag a problem into the next day and the next day and the next day, because we never really want to look at it. So the daily review is very helpful for me to avoid dragging problems unnecessarily into the future.
Hmm. Makes sense. Makes some sense. And before we wrap up, um, Like, it's a bit of a nuanced perspective, which I think, definitely we need to kind of explore here. Like, everywhere we look, Hans, people, I mean, we are trying to seek enlightenment, um, you know, higher purpose. Sometimes we try to connect with our higher selves. We try to understand our history, maybe our past lives, and all these aspects here. But what if this constant seeking, it actually is pulling us away from living? Like, do you think that our obsession with spiritual progress could be like, its own trap?
Very true. Yeah, I fully agree. It can be also another ego trap. Look how enlightened I am, how spiritual I am. Yes, of course. That can easily slip in, very much so. I have got a better spiritual path than you have, and I know more about it than you have. So our ego can easily use spirituality to put ourselves on some kind of pedestal or make ourselves feel better than others. There's definitely a danger in that. But it is just always a question to go within and find the answer there at any time I want to. And we may not get always the whole answer, but we get a little chunk of it. Every time we take the time to sit down and look at it and says, what is this moment telling me? What is this moment showing me what I can still clear up and make it better? Or what here needs to be sort of healed and what's to be loved? Because the essence of our existence is to love and nothing else. Is what I'm doing, is what I'm saying, is what I am feeling, sensing, uh, in coming from love, or does it not come from love, from any other emotion? That is the only thing which matters. And the more loving we become, the more we increase in our vibration. And
Mhm.
as our vibration increases, we will get more and more attracted back to our true home, which is the highest vibration, which is love, because the universe works on the law of like attracts like.
I agree. I agree. That's so beautifully explained, Hans. Beautifully explains. Superb, superb. So before we wrap up, in the interest of time, Hans, like, I'm very sure because I'm personally also so inquisitive to explore more into this. But if our listeners they would like to connect with you, share their thoughts about this, why are we here on this planet, and they would like to also check out your videos, what would be the best way?
Well, just go to YouTube and punch in my name, Hans Wilhelm, and there you will see my channel, lifeexplained.com, with over 140 very short video, which I draw out with manually. And I think because I believe you can understand the spiritual laws much better when you see them and not just when you hear them. So there, and then of course I do have a website called lifeexplained.com, which has the same videos in a different order. And you can always write to me and inform, and I will happy to answer the questions anybody may have. And there is nothing to join. There is no membership. All these videos are free, and that is basically for me very important. That the spiritual path I'm sharing is totally free of anything, of any commitment, of any payments or whatever.
That's so good to know. Thank you so much, Hans. I'll make sure to have the link in the show notes. So, listeners, please go check out the show notes and check out Hans' all videos on his YouTube channel, Life Explained, and visit his website as well. Reach out to him, share your thoughts about this conversation. And also, I think this episode for me, I believe it's a reminder that purpose isn't the final destination. Like once we know what is our purpose, we are done. No, not at all. It's more like a breath, something we forget and remember over and over again. So, Hans, thank you so much for helping us, look beyond the surface and still stay humble and grounded, like in what exactly it means to be a human. Thank you.
Son, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for having been on your show.
My pleasure, Hans. And to all the listeners out there, maybe the point isn't to find why are we here, but it is to live deeply enough that the question doesn't scare us anymore. Keep listening to the Mindful Living podcast. I'm your host, Sana, and until next time, I invite all of you to stay curious, stay kind, and stay human. Thank you.